It's the only way I hear your voice anymore. Right, I thought I'd do something a little bit different today, and I'm going to film my whole strength session, and today I'm doing deadlifts. So, I've just done a quick warm up, just a quick 5 minutes on the treadmill to get the blood pumping. I'm just going to take you through some of the stretches that I do prior to lifting, and yeah, basically just talk you through what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, and how I'm doing it, I guess. So, a couple of pieces of equipment that I use when I'm deadlifting. Chalk, just because I like to lift as heavy as possible without any straps or anything, but then I get to a point where I can't lift anymore and the bar starts to slip out of my hands, so the chalk's not enough and I'll switch over to the straps. So, as I said, I have already done a quick 5 minute warm up just to get the blood pumping. I typically deadlift without any shoes on, purely because, running trainers are designed to absorb the impact when you're running on the road. Now, when you're doing a deadlift, you want to use as much energy as possible from the floor to push away to get that bar up. If you're doing it in running trainers, the fluffy bit, the squidgy bit on the bottom is absorbing all the power. So one, I feel like I get more power through driving directly through the floor. Number two, it's good just to stabilise your ankles. So again, because it's got a little layer on the bottom of your trainers, a platform, a spongy thing, as you go heavier, you lose a bit of stability in your ankles and you are prone to rolling them. So that's the reason why I've got no shoes on. What else do I need to tell you? That's about it, I think. So obviously you're going to need an Olympic bar and big bumper plates. So why we use big bumper plates is to support your spine basically. So if you think, if I was doing it, let me grab a dumbbell quickly. If I was deadlifting something really small on the bottom like that, it means you have to go down further to pick the weight up. I'll show you what I mean. So, from here, if the plates on the end were like that, for me to get low enough to grab it, you'll see that my spine bends. So I've got flexion in my spine, which is not good. Now, I don't want to teach you to suck eggs, but the strongest your spine is when it's in its natural curve. So, when people say neutral spine, that is when your spine is in its natural perfect alignment, and that is when it's the strongest. When you go into extension or flexion, that isn't as strong as it can be, and obviously when you're shifting a heavy bit of weight, you want to make sure you're supporting your spine as much as possible. So, try to not use small plates on the end, and instead go for the bumper plates. If that still isn't high enough, feel free to put some more plates on the floor just to rise that up a little bit. As you improve mobility in your ankles, the depth of your squat, there's all sorts of stuff that play into it. So obviously, if you've got tight hip flexors, you're not going to be able to squat down low enough to pick the bar up. So that's one thing you can aim to do. The mobility in your foot, so you're going to have a lot of dorsiflexion to be able to do a deadlift properly. There's all sorts of things. So there's the reasons why I've got my shoes on, why I'm using big bumper plates. Now I'm just going to jump into some of the exercises I do before lifting. And yeah, this is probably going to be about 20 minutes long by the time I've waffled on. So what I do, I'm currently working on 5 sets of 5 reps, so I'm lifting heavy for this. I think last week I lifted 170 kilograms, so I'm going to try and build on that, go up to 172.5, 175 maybe even get 180 out, we don't know. So yeah, what I'll do is I'll work up to my weight, starting off with the big bumper plates on the end, so we've just got 5 kilograms, the bar's 20 kilograms, so that's 30, and I'm just going to progressively add weight on until I get to my working weight. I'm then going to do 5 reps, take a 2 minute rest, and then repeat that until I've got all 5 sets done. So, first of all, just to mobilise and warm up, I'll do some walkouts. So, this is going to really stretch out the back of your hamstrings, and also brace your core as well. So you're going to come down, do a press up and walk back up. I'll do 8 to 10 of these. And I'll aim to keep my legs as straight as possible when doing so I feel a nice stretch on the back of my hamstrings. It's worth me saying I've already done all this all off camera, so if I don't get the reps out that I'm saying I've done, I have already done it. So once I've warmed up my hamstrings, I also like to just loosen up my back a little bit. So I've actually got a bit of problem with thoracic rotation, so I've got a couple of exercises that my chiropractor told me to do. The first one being getting down on my knees, take one hand behind my head, and I'm going to touch my elbow and then twist around as far as possible. So from here, really open that out, and twist as far as possible. Just 5 of them on each side. Good, right, so that's the mid part of my back done. Then I'm going to go into the lower part of my back, the lumbar. So you can get onto your stomach, and you want to do this quite dynamically. So just touch one side, come over the other one, and repeat that 5 times. And you can also do that laying on your back, similar sort of fashion. Bring your knees into your chest, and just touch them down each side. Oh, yeah. Right, so another thing that I like to do, I'm going to stay on the floor for this one, is just stretch out my IT band, so the iliotibial band. So I get a bit of pain in the side of my knee, and it's because I've got a bit of tightness in my glute and tightness in my IT band. So a pigeon stretch before doing any lifting really helps me. It just loosens that up, and it really relieves the pain that I get in my knee. So as I said, I've already done this just to show you, and if that's too easy, you can bring your leg out a little bit more and lean onto it, like so. So both legs are there, do both sides. And then so for the deadlift, what you want to start doing is activating your glute. If you're sat down for long periods of time, or typically when you're a desk worker, your hips get really tight because your glutes aren't working. So this movement is very much focused on your posterior chain. So that's everything from the back of your ankles all the way up your back. So we want to get these turned on, and the way I do it is by doing a one-legged Romanian deadlift. So you're going to need quite a bit of balance and good core stability for this. So you could just do a glute bridge, hands out to the side, push up and just hold it for a couple of seconds at the top and come back down. That's going to get your bum nicely fired up, and you want that fired up because it's going to help you when you're doing a deadlift. But as I say, I do Romanian deadlifts, so we're going to stand on one leg, slight bend in the knee, and you're going to lift that back leg up until you feel your glute engage, and you're just going to reach forward as far as possible, and that's going to give you a nice squeeze. And actually, in both glutes, but particularly the active leg at the back. So again, I'll do 10 of these on each leg, and then I'm just about ready to jump onto the bar. So, there's my phone going off. First things first, we're just going to warm up. So when you warm up, obviously that's all well and good, that's getting me ready to do the deadlifts. But when you get to doing the deadlifts, the only way you're going to be able to warm yourself up for a deadlift is by doing deadlifts. So start off on a lesser weight and gradually build it up until you find your working weight. So I'll typically do between 15 and 20 on a very light weight, just to get my back nice and warmed up, and then I'll gradually start adding the weight on. So my preference is actually to do a double overhand grip, just because I feel like it promotes symmetry in your body. But as it starts to get heavier, you will find that the bar will slip out if you've got double overhand, and you'll be better off doing that. So my rules, as long as I can, double overhand and chalk. When it starts to slip, I'll reverse my grip and do one over, one under, one over. And after every lift, I'll switch it around. And then when it gets to the point where my grip just gives up on me and I've still got more in the tank, I'll put the straps on and I'll keep going. So, I'm going to crack on with the first set now. Deadlift. Basically, a deadlift, people often get confused with this. A deadlift, you're pushing through the floor to get that bar up for the first part of the movement. And then when it comes to your knees, you're squeezing your bum to extend your hip and pull that bar up. So I'll show you what I mean. What you want to do is set your shoulders back and engage your lats. That's going to lock the bar into your arms, and that is a good start position. So, nice straight back. First things first, you're going to push through the floor. So push, 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 push. When the bar gets to above your knees, you're going to squeeze your bum, which is going to extend your hips, and it's going to bring that bar up. So, you're locking your arms in, locking your lats in, nice straight arms. Here, you're pushing through the floor until it gets to your knees, and you're squeezing your bum to bring the bar up. There you go. And on the way back down, you want to lower it until it gets past your knees, and then bend it down to the floor. So you want the bar to go in a straight line the whole way through this movement. What I'm going to show you is if you bend your knees too early, it pushes the bar away from your body, and that's going to put a bit of, well, risk on your spine. I'll show you exactly what I mean. So, we're going to deadlift the bar up, pushing away from the floor, our shoulders locked back, engaging our lats. Drive up the top. Now, you want to keep the bar so it's just going in a straight line. So, the right way to do it is lowering it like so, and then bending down. The wrong way to do it, and you'll see what I mean, because my spine is going to go into flexion. If you bend your knees too early, it drives the bar away from you, and it promotes you to round your shoulders and your back, and it puts a lot of pressure on your lower spine. So especially, think, when you've got a lot of weight on there, that's going to be hard and damaging to your spine. So, lower it down, and bend. Right, I think I've done enough explaining now. I'm going to get my reps out on the lower weight, slowly build it up, and feel free to watch me. I'll have 2-minute rest in between after I've got to my working weight. So, alright, little bit for the grab. I'm doing something a bit different today. I'm actually filming my whole strength session. So, today's deadlift day. I've got my camera set up and I'm talking through my warm up, why I do what I'm doing, how I'm doing what I'm doing, and also just giving you a few little tips along the way. I thought it would be a good insight into my training sessions and how I go about doing it, and also you're going to learn some stuff along the way. So a lot of the hints and tips I'm giving on this vlog are in my latest program, but I want to give you a bit of an insight, a bit of free content. Yeah, so hopefully that'll be on my YouTube channel very soon. One take temper, they call me. Right, so warmed up on that. Let's get the heavies involved. It's easy enough to do now, but a little tip for you. 2 seconds. As you start to put more weight on or take it off, you'll benefit from using a little disc like this. You can just roll it under there, and the weights slide off a lot more easy. Obviously I'm not going to slide them off now because I'm about to work out, but that'll be very useful later. So we've got the 25s on each side, we've got the 5s on each side, 30, 60, plus the bar is 80. Hopefully, we can chuck at least another 90 on there. So I'm just chalking my hands up. This liquid chalk, absolutely brilliant. So you put it on, can't see anything, wave your hands about a little bit, and it starts to turn white, and it really gives you a good grip while you're lifting. So while I'm warming up, I don't really time my rest. It's just as and when, without sounding big-headed, I can deadlift 200, 210. So I know what my body can do. This is quite light for me. It's just going through the motions, making sure I'm properly warmed up to do those big lifts. There you go. Hands have gone all white. All white. It's going to give me a nice bit of grip and we're going to lift. So, double overhand because I can do it with my grip at the moment. And what I'll start to do now is I'll just do 5 reps because I'm working up to a heavy 5. I'm just going to do 5, 5, 5, 5 until I find that working way. So, Nice, it's feeling good. What did I say that was? 80. Let's get the 20s out. 20, 45, plus 45 is 90, plus the bar is 110, plus the 2 5s, 120. I know people are going to ask me what I'm drinking. These are BCAAs, not drinking them for any reason at all other than the fact that they taste nice and they're in this gym. So, yeah, I know people are going to say, what are you drinking? It's not for any reason, just it tastes nice. Right, so we're up to 120. I'm probably going to have to mix my grip up now because it will slip out of my hand. I'll give it a go double over and see what happens. So it's just starting to slip now. Right, so we're at 5s for 120. I think I'll put 20s on now, we'll do 160, do one set on that, and I think I'm ready to put it up to my working weight. And here's where this little bad boy comes in. So we're just gonna get that way so I can show you. Roll that up, so it's on there. And that'll just slide nicely on the end. Easy. There's a little Thames tip for you. I think they call this the biscuit. I've got a bit of a cold. I'm all sniffly. The excuses all results though. And then what I'll do, as I get heavier, I'll put the locks in then. Right, so this is 160. Probably going to struggle with my grip on this one. In fact, I'll try it again just to show you. So we're going to go 5 on here, 20, 40, 60, 70, 140, yeah, 160. So let's give this a go for 5 reps, and then I'm going to go to my working weight. Probably, I'm going to go 175 today and see what happens. Feeling alright today. Grip's starting to go, so now is the time that I'll start to put the straps on. And that's actually feeling quite heavy today. Maybe I'll stick at 170. We'll see. Right, straps on. What do you reckon? 170, 175? What I always say, do not go too heavy and compromise your form. Go as heavy as your body permits you and allows you to do while you're staying safe. There's no, like, who am I showing off in front of? There's no one in the gym. I don't care what you guys think. I'm trying to build up my own strength so I'm functional for myself, nobody else. So leave the egos at the door and lift. And again, it's going to change all the time, right? So one day you may be able to come in and do 170. There's so many factors that could affect how you lift. When you've eaten, have you slept well, are you ill, all sorts of different stuff. So if you can't get it out one day, these things happen. I'm going to go 170. Put 1.25 on. going heavier is heavier regardless of what it is. Even 2.5 kilograms is progress. Right, if I don't talk much from now, it's because I'm in the zone, I'm focusing. We're going to go 5 reps, take a 2-minute rest and repeat 5 times. What I'm looking to try and do is keep my back as straight as possible and push through the floor to bring the bar up. You do not want to see this at all. So any flexing in your lower back, no, no. Right. God, I'm sniffing, man. With these straps, so let me show you. One last thing and then I'll crack on. You're gonna put your hands through, like so, and then get that nice and tight on your wrist. Then what you do is wrap that around the bar, and it just gives you a bit of extra security. It's also quite grippy as well, holding onto that material. So there you go. And for this, now I've got the straps on, I'll be doing double overhand. Just because, as I said, it promotes the symmetry in your body, and I've got the grip now anyway, so shouldn't be too bad. Right. Right, so I know already that I'm not going to be able to do that for the full 5 sets. I'm going to get my timer on. That felt flipping hard, really hard. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to drop down to 160. Yeah, then go again. Jeez, that was hard. Very, very hard. What did I do last week? Another thing I do, I make sure I keep all the notes of the weights I've lifted on my phone just so you can track progress. But as I say, if you can't do it, there's obviously a reason why I can't do it. In fact, I trained legs yesterday, so that could... I don't know why, my camera just decided to cut out there, but we're just coming up to the 2-minute rest. Maybe I'll have to turn it off after every set, but I just want to show you how my form is throughout the 5 sets. Well, you be the judge of it. You let me know in the comment section below, do I keep my form, or is it compromised as I go throughout the exercise? Because if it's compromised, I'm going too heavy and that's not good. That's not what I want to do. Right, second set. Felt better, still heavy, still feels heavy, really heavy. You'll notice there, it's a deadlift. So I went down to a dead stop before coming back up. Right, 2 sets done, 3 to go. Right, set number 3, in 10 seconds. I feel like this is always the hardest set, but after you've got set 3 done, you know it's downhill from there. Excuse me, I need to fart. That's dirty, sorry. I do apologise about farting, but I had to get that out. Set 3.
Gotta change that answering machine now that I'm alone, 'cause right now it says that we can't come to the phone. And I know it makes no sense, 'cause you walked out the door. It's the only way I hear your voice anymore.
Right. Okay, we're going to set 4. Set 4, I'm not feeling good. This is heavy. Heavy, bro. But, as I say, we are doing this on a rate of perceived exertion. So that is my rate of the effort it's taking me to do this. For me today, 160 is my maximum. I did the 175, too heavy. Too heavy, right. 2 minutes done. Shut up, temptation. Get on with it. Excuses or results? Breathing as well, you want to take a nice deep breath in at the bottom and then breathe out at the top. Fuck, 4. Come on, come on. Set 4. Fucking hell. Fucking hell. This is the face of a man that doesn't want to do the last set of 5 deadlifts at 160. But, as I keep saying, excuses or results. I want results, we're going to get it done. Come on, come on. I actually once, what's his name? David Godin, if you don't follow him, I think is he a runner or a basketball player? Anyway, he says that he works out without any music because when you're in a situation where you don't have music in your ears, you need to find motivation from within. So, since I listen to that, I do listen to music when I'm running, but now that I haven't got any music on because I'm filming, I need to try and find my motivation from within. So how much do I want this? Am I going to get these 5 reps done? I know the answer, yes, I am going to get them done. Right, let's go. Psych myself up by saying, come on, temptation, you can do it. You are the temptation, you can do this. 5 little reps in between you and having a very sore back. Posterior chain, right, you can do this. I can't get that bloody Neo song out of my head. And I'm stronger than this. Come on. Fucking last one. 5x5 deadlifts done. That was my strength workout. I hope you've got some sort of benefit out of that, whether it's my 10 tips on how to deadlift or just gauging an understanding of how heavy I lift. I feel like a lot of people go into the gym and they say, yeah, I've done a workout, but they're not actually pushing themselves as much as they can whilst maintaining the correct form. You can hear from my breath, that just took a lot of effort to do that. So that's the sort of intensity I expect with my clients, with people doing my online programming. You get out what you put in. I know it sounds so preachy and gimmicky and cliche, but it's true. Anyway, if you like this video, I hate all this YouTube stuff. Comment below, let me know what else you want to see. If you haven't liked it, fair enough, put the thumbs down. If you have liked it, thumbs up, save it for later. Use those 10 tips that I've given you. That's going to help you lift with the correct form, stay safe and get stronger. So, peace out. Why the hell did I do that? Peace out. Temps out. I forgot another little tip for you, wasn't it? The biscuit. How we get the weights off the end of the plate. So, take that off. Oh, I'll put this little plate under the end one. So knackered I am, don't do that. And then, you're just gonna push them all off like so. That's just absolutely deafening my ears. Right, there you go. Now it's temps out.